Now I am joined by Paul Meadows from Sens for Dad. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm fine today. Bit better with the weather, but yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it like we were just saying, it's been a really scorching few days, to be honest. It's like we're on holiday or something like that. But anyway, so you are the founder for Send for Dads, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. I am, yes.
So what like, you know, do you want to tell for the people that don't know, like, what do you get up to? Like, what is Send for Dad, pretty much?
Well, we're a group that is there for dads and male carers that have a child with special educational needs or disability. It is for children of any age, even into adulthood. And when we say male carers, that can even include grandparents, stepdads, all those sort of things. Just as long as they've got like a parental kind of care for a child with disabilities, then yeah, we provide that support.
Yeah, so is it more about the child or the carers, whether it's a dad or, like you were just saying, a granddad or anyone who cares for the child, pretty much, or is it more tailored to both? What would you think? What would you say?
Well, the main thing is first with regards to the dads, the males, because there isn't much support out there. What support there is usually for the mums, and also, like a lot of most blokes, we're not very good at talking. So we come across as not really one of these groups where you just sit round in a circle and then start talking about things and everything else. Ours is more about creating that community, coming together, having a bit of fun, having a laugh, because then once that happens, people become more comfortable and, you know, they may start talking. What we also do alongside that is, obviously, it's about building relationships and bonds between the father or male carer and their child. So we do other types of events and activities where the dads can come along with their child as well.
Yeah, so is it more kind of like you bring a sort of relief that becomes inviting and sort of build a community from that? So what are some of the activities and stuff that you do with child and the dad?
Well, Child and Dad, we've actually started up this year our own kind of dad and child youth club, which is called Sunshine. That's usually the second and fourth Sunday of every month. And it's basically owned and controlled by the dads and the children. So it's basically come along to the Frank Bruno Foundation, and we have certain activities that dads are always with their child, you know, so it helps them to kind of bond and be able to do stuff. We usually have a theme, so, you know, we've previously had like Mother's Day, we've had like mental health themes and stuff like that. So it's just an hour where they can come along, they feel comfortable, and just be able to be themselves.
Yeah, so I'm going to say it's wanting to make them feel welcome, pretty much. So now for the big question of the day, we've got here that you had a session at the Houses of Parliament, and you know we would love to know about that. It sounds super interesting.
Yeah, with next month we're off to Parliament. We've been invited by Lucy Rigby and Lee Barron. We're going to actually be in the House of Commons, and we are on a slot that's just after Prime Minister's questions. So we're hoping that we'll get quite a few MPs that will come along. I mean, we've invited quite a few already to come along and obviously talk to us, so we're hoping that we'll be able to kind of get out there.
Yeah, that sounds like you've struck gold almost with who you can talk to there. So what's like the aim of it? So you want to talk to MPs, but is it more getting the voice out and getting the Send for Dad's name out there, or is it other motives?
It's more about, I mean, obviously Sends for Dad, we've got this kind of model, but there are other groups out there as well throughout the whole of the country. But like us, they struggle with regards to finding time to do those. Obviously, you know, as carers as well, they've got additional responsibilities on work, and you know, it can get quite a lot. And we're quite often left alone to kind of organise these things. So sometimes, you know, some of the groups kind of just break away because people just haven't got that time or energy to actually do that. So what we're going to be there is trying to put into context like the strain that it puts on dads and male carers, and that there needs to be better investment from the government, from local councils and everything else into, you know, these types of groups, because a small bit of money invested in them at this point will save a lot of money further down the line.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I totally agree with you on your point that you said earlier about how many of us, you know, mostly, mate, we don't, you know, dads or not, we don't really speak too much about how we're doing or stuff like that. We sort of just kind of coast along, yeah, I'm fine, sort of stuff like that. But you know, how could we get in? How could we get in touch with you here? Like, is it just a Northamptonshire based thing, or are you trying to branch out more?
We're based in Northamptonshire at the moment. Obviously, we've got links to other dads groups, and we have spoken to other dads groups as well that have wanted to kind of set up, kind of gave them some advice and stuff like that. So, you know, we're only a small kind of group, so taking over the world's never going to happen. So, you know, we know our limitations, but it's a case of, you know, we can help other groups as well, give them tips, but also signposting, because we're not experts, we're not able to be everywhere. So, you know, a lot of the stuff we do is also signposting as well. But we do have like a WhatsApp community group where we do kind of talk about certain things in groups. So whilst there may be some local things in there, a lot of things to do with EHCPs, you know, celebrating those wins, you know, with your child. That doesn't matter where you're based, really, you know, because, you know, there's kind of universal things that happen with those.
Yeah, so it's more being like being an option there for people to, you know, come to you and, you know, gain that support. So I wanted to know, so you're the founder of it. What's the reason behind why you founded this group? Like, what was the, you know, the sort of starting point there for you?
Yeah, well, it's been going for over 11 years now. So I kind of went through a kind of period like mental ill health, trying to look at ways in which I could find that support. So I started volunteering at a parent forum group, just to kind of get that kind of part of that community, part of that, you know, feeling of being part of something. But as I started to go on and go to kind of events, there was, you go along and there'd be a lot of mums and everything else, and if a dad was there, he'd kind of been dragged along or was very quiet. So it got to a point where it was a case of I've either got to wait for something to happen or start something myself. So that's what I did, and it started off once a month, you know, meeting up at a local pub. Sometimes I'd be the only one there, sometimes there'd be one or two, but the fact of the matter was there was always something there. The dads always knew that if they needed something or just wanted to get out and have a drink, that they could come along. And then COVID hit, and then as soon as lockdown kind of raised, it's just gone mental, really.
Yeah, I mean lockdown caused everything to be on. But how about how's that affecting you? You doing better than when lockdown was around, or?
I mean, there's been more kind of demand for it, and the thing is, though, with what we're doing at the moment, we're only scratching the surface. You know, we hear more and more of dads that kind of, you know, say off, we didn't know about this group of you know, I've needed it, being able to kind of, at the end of the day, it's just going out and doing an activity and just being part of something, part of a community, because you can feel quite isolated. You have a lot of the services as well that automatically go to the mother, and dad's quite often left out of it. So, you know, the isolation side of things is one of the things that's really been becoming more apparent now, and the need in that support, but also being part of something, being part of that community.
Yeah, I think getting it out there is really good, because I mean, if you're isolated, you know, by yourself, at least having that option there, you know that there is something that you can go to. You know, there is people out there who you can talk to and stuff like that, rather than just, you know, staying at home and suffering through it yourself. Now, before we finish off, just one more time, if anyone was listening and wanted to get involved, how could they?
Well, there's a few ways that they can get. We've got our own website, which is www.sendsfordad, and that's SENDS, the number 4, and then DAD.org.uk. That's our website. We're also on Facebook and Sends for Dad main page. You can also send an email to us, which is contact@sendsfordad.org.uk.
All right then. Well, yeah. Thank you very much, and I wish you the best of luck in Parliament. I hope you can get it out there some more. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you.